I formation. Huber is the man. He goes up the middle, and he looks to have first down yardage as he dives into the hole. And Huber has picked it up. They might have to measure, but from our vantage point, it looked as if he got inside the 6. And if he did, it's first and goal for the Elder Panthers. LaTurn Beasley was there to make the stop, but not before the big first down.
Huber that time went in low off the right side of the line, put his head and shoulders down, buried in the line of scrimmage, got the first down, first and goal inside the 5.
2 minutes, 19 seconds left, third quarter. The Elder fans continue to be on their feet in anticipation of another score. Pass this time again to Huber. Huber goes outside, then inside. He keeps moving. He's down to the goal line and in. Touchdown for Huber, his third of the night. And that was the product of second effort and some missed tackling again. Patilla was there. He had his hands around him. But Elder goes in for the score, and Huber has been the difference. His third touchdown. And all of a sudden, it's a 26-13 game. Again, it's Matt Bonhoff who led the way and watched the offensive surge.
I'll tell you what, you're seeing a solid football player right there in Huber. Second, third effort, and they go for 2 off the quick snap. Alabama got caught napping.
We were in the replay. They went for 2 quick snap, and they turn it in.
But there is a flag down on the far side, Bob. They're going to bring it back.
There's a lot of paper on the field, too. That flag is harder to pick out there. It looks like a bunch of hot dog wrappers, but we'll have to wait and see the call. But they did get in for the 2-point conversion. Will it stand up or not?
Illegal man downfield.
Now, that's one of the things that happens when you're doing a quick play like that. You catch a lot of people off guard, including your own team sometimes.
Right. They run what the old play is called the swinging gate. And they line most of the offensive players off to the far side by the hash mark. The center, the holder.
Illegal participation. Elder.
The center, the holder, and the kicker behind the football. And if Aliquippa doesn't recognize it and shift over, they go for the swinging gate play. They got it in, but as the referee called it, an illegal play. And they'll bring it back to the 17-yard line, and they'll go for the extra point from there.
And you talk about a well-designed drive, 80 yards, as they took up over 5 minutes of clock time. And that's very important right now as we get down late third quarter.
Bob, this is going to be a 35-yard extra point attempt.
35 yards. One of the longest you've seen. McCluskey's on. It's up, and it is good. From 35 yards away, he missed the chip shot, and he more than makes up for it there. Dan McCluskey with a 35-yard point after touchdown, and that increases the lead. Elder now leads the Quips 27-13. And time, again, is a big problem. 2 minutes, 3 seconds left for Frank Morocco to try to turn this thing around, and that's a big point after touchdown.
Yeah, Frank Morocco has his work cut out for he and his staff right here. His football team down by 14 points. Certainly not an insurmountable lead. Aliquippa is a fighting town, a fighting school, and they can come back, but they have got to start moving the football and stop committing the mistakes that has cost them here in this football game.
Frank was talking about some razzle-dazzle that we might see. This might be the time for it, but then again, Elder is going to be looking for some of that stuff. They know Aliquippa is pretty desperate at this point. They need 2 touchdowns. They need to get them quick.
Remember the one time he wanted to throw that halfback option pass, which we talked about when he was ahead by a touchdown. He had the ball at the 30-yard line of Elder. Billings, he wanted to throw. The receiver wasn't open. He turned it up under, lost the football, and from that point on in this game, it has belonged to Elder High School.
Very good point. That might be the key of this game, because if that play works, they get some yardage, they might move in and have a 2-touchdown lead. As it is, the turnover, Elder goes right down the field and takes the lead. Ties the game, then takes the lead. So, key point of the game. Dan McCluskey, the man who just kicked the 35-yard point after touchdown, will do the honors here from the 40. As Aliquippa needs to get some good field position and mount a drive. There's plenty of time left. 2 minutes, 3 seconds, third quarter. But when you got to get 2 touchdowns against a defense like Elder, you're in trouble. Kick is bobbled down there by Aliquippa, and finally Billingsley falls on it. And he almost let it get through his arms. And, boy, that would have been devastating. But he does recover it. Billingsley falls on it at the 17-yard line, and Aliquippa, not exactly the kind of field position you want.
I'm not sure if McCluskey wanted to kick the ball that way, but it turns out for the better for Elder. Aliquippa had trouble handling that kick. There you see Patilla's knee go down. He's covered right there, and the Quips start deep in their own territory at the 17.
First and 10 for the Quips. Chris Joseph is back in there after experiencing some problems on the sidelines. Fumbles the snap from center. It's loose. Big pile up at the 17-yard line, and Aliquippa has recovered And the man recovering it right there is Leonard Myers. Johnny on the spot. And that would have been crucial if Elder had recovered that one. Again, an 80-play drive for Elder. 11 plays, took 4 minutes and 57 seconds, and that probably is the biggest stat of all. The more time they could eat off the clock, the better it is for them. Less than a minute and a half left third quarter. Clock is moving. Second down, 10. Another bad snap. The fumble is on the ground, and it looks as if Elder this time has recovered. And that is Chris Lynn, the senior defensive end. Missed communication, it seemed like. Joseph had it, and all of a sudden came loose. I don't know if someone hit it or if he just lost possession himself, but critical mistake. And we can look at it right here. He just lost it himself. He was never hit. Ball came loose for the second time. And Lean makes the recovery.
Fourth fumble of the day for Aliquippa. Second recovery for Elder, and they're knocking at the door inside the 12.
This would make it extremely difficult. 47 seconds left. Path back in there with his offensive unit. And Aliquippa jumps again. To turn Beasley.
What Path is obviously doing, Bob, is alternating his cadence count, and the Quips are not able to keep track with what the cadence count is. And Path is a good quarterback, a smart quarterback, realizing that Aliquippa throughout the ball game has been jumping off sides, not able to handle the alternating cadence count. He's a good one.
And Aliquippa might be a bit anxious at this point, too, knowing they need a big play, and a lot of these guys on the defensive line want to make it. And when you do that, you tend to jump a little prematurely. And that was the case with Beasley right there. Cost him 5 yards. First and 5 from the 7. First and goal, I should say, from the 7. There's Elder looking, go for that knockout punch. Again, it's Huber. Takes the pitch inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. Before he's knocked down by Durham and Elmore of the Quips. And Elder beginning to wear down Aliquippa. But the mistakes, again, really the pivotal part of this game. And that is going to do it for the third quarter as time officially expires. Aliquippa has its work cut out for them. They trail by 2 touchdowns, 27-13. Let's pause now for a local break. This is the Buddy LaRosa Classic, only on KBL.
Hey, sports fans, get ready to win cash playing
When the Quips on the ropes right now. Elder looking to apply the knockout punch. They operate. Second down and goal. From the 3, handoff straight ahead. Goes to Huber. Who else? And he plows his way into the end zone. Touchdown for Elder. And Huber has his 4th touchdown of this game. And again, the mistakes prove costly to the Quips. As Elder goes in for a touchdown that puts them up by 20.
Any question who the player of the game for Elder will be?
I don't think there's any doubt. We can submit the envelope right now.
Interesting, last week Path throws for 5 touchdowns. This week Huber runs for 4.
Well, that might have worked to the advantage of Elder as McCluskey puts the extra point up and good, making it 34-13. Elder. Aliquippa came into this game thinking that they really had to concentrate so much on the pass, and if they would stop Path, they would stop Elder. But they may have forgotten about Mr. Huber, and he has been a one-man wrecking crew in here. 4 touchdowns as he goes straight up the middle again with outstanding blocking by the offensive line. And they go up now by 21. Interesting, Randy, third quarter. Elder really did wear down Aliquippa. They had 9 minutes of time of possession. Aliquippa 2:58. As a matter of fact, offensive plays in the third quarter. Elder 19, Aliquippa 6. That pretty much is dominance.
You want more stats? That touchdown drive, 12 yards, 3 plays, 105. Not really that important. This is the important one. Huber, 26 carries, 130 yards, 4 touchdowns, over a 5-yard average. That is unofficial, but that is the important number.
Elder, 213 total yards. They have been very opportunistic tonight. You have to say that. Aliquippa has self-destructed, but when given an opportunity, Elder has made it stand, and they have gone in on every turnover, and they have turned it into touchdowns. Not just points, but touchdowns. 6 points every time, and that has been the demise, really, of Aliquippa. They had the game. They really did in the second quarter. They could have gone up by 2 touchdowns, turn it around with the turnover. Kickoff now. Aliquippa sees it bouncing around. It's loose. A couple of Quips converge on it. Finally, it's taken by one of the Quips there, Stewart. And he scrambles his way out to the 19-yard line. And he, along with a couple of other Chris, were watching the bouncing ball. Brian Brogan was there.
And a flag
Spear was
down.
the man.
Didn't mean to walk on you, but there was a flag down, too. That looks like it's going to go against the Quips.
And it's a clip. Watch the bouncing ball here in Aliquippa, Billingsley, Attila. Finally, it was Spear coming up with it.
We have a clip. Number 20, defense, first down.
So Aliquippa, they need 3 touchdowns, but now they need to march almost 90 yards to get that first one, and it's going to be tough against an Elder defense, which knows exactly what Aliquippa has to do.
I think we need to remind the ref that the clip is against the offense, not against the defense. He said clip against
Did
the
he say?
defense. Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Well, he's only doing 1 game.
There's that time of possession. Billingsley with the handoff straight up the middle. Gets a couple of yards, but that won't help much at this point. Matt Mazzaro was there to make the tackle for Elder, and he's had a solid game, quietly gone about it.
Well, who is the guy that does the scoreboard? Not only do they credit Tony Dorsett for going to Aliquippa High School, they credit Joe Namath for going to Aliquippa High School. The people in Beaver Falls aren't happy about that.
Joe Willie Namath from Beaver Falls.
Of course, Dorsett went to Hopewell High School.
That's 2 mistakes up there.
But they were correct about
It's
Mike
the first
Dixon.
game of the season, though. You know, I mean, we have a lot of wrinkles to work out.
Who from Aliquippa gave them that information?
11 minutes, 20 seconds, and that picture tells 1,000 words. Aliquippa right now needing a lot, and they have very little time to do it. Chris Joseph, a quarterback, pitches to Billingsley again. Billingsley goes off right tackle. He gets a couple of yards, but not really much there. A couple of yards out to the 10-yard line, and a swarming Elder defense led by Kevin Espizan. Also, Greg Harmeyer. He's pretty quiet tonight. But Elder has been very opportunistic, and that has been the difference.
This is the ideal situation that a defense likes to be in, Bob. You're ahead by 3 touchdowns. You force the team into 3rd and long. You pin the ears back. Here comes everybody. Not an ideal situation for Chris Joseph to be in.
Elder dominating the statistics here in the second half. 3rd and 7. Handoff up the middle. Thornton. Or I'm sorry, it's Smith. Sharice Smith. And he again stopped short as Elder rising to the occasion. And Aliquippa right now really with their backs against the wall. Chris Lean, the man who recovered the fumble earlier, was the man, and look who's down again.
Well, Sean Durham on the sideline, but down on the field, Sharice Smith is limping off.
Both of those players hampered earlier in the second half, and they continue to be bothered by the cramping of the legs. 4th and 8, and Aliquippa right now needing a miracle. Jeff Weber is back deep, along with Mark Tiernan. As Aliquippa will have to punt. Arno Askew in his own end zone. He had a 56-yard punt the last time, average of 43 for the night. Not bad. He'll need a whopping one here again. Elder is almost certainly going to come out with outstanding field position. Kick is a good one by Askew. Fair catch called for at the 41-yard line, and that is where Elder will put the ball in play again. And another flag on the play down close to the end zone. 33-yard punt by Mr. Askew.
Ball on the offense. It's declined. First down for Elder.
They will accept the field position, and rightfully so. They're in Aliquippa territory with a 21-point lead, and I would think that they would use the clock at this point.
It was a 33-yard punt by Arno Askew. The penalty was Ezzie Jones ran on the field, and the referee said that he didn't get set in position prior to the snap of the football. I thought he was in. Irrelevant at this point, I guess.
When it rains, it pours, and that's what's happening with Aliquippa. Half still in a quarterback. Handoff. And this time, Huber finds absolutely nothing there. Leonard Myers was the man who hit him first. Myers makes a nice defensive play, and one of the few times tonight that we have seen Huber toss for a loss. All the way back to the 43-yard line, loss of 2, setting up 2nd and 12. Less than 9 minutes left in the game now. Elder using that clock, and you can bet that Huber's going to get number more carries. He already has 27 for 128 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's the big stat. Path now sending his offense, goes up the middle, and the man there is Chad Feldman, and that's, I believe, the first time he's carried the ball tonight. He is a fullback and a starting fullback. Huber has dominated the headlines, but Chad Feldman, and no one expected him to carry the ball. He gets ample yards for the first down. Patilla and Thornton made the stop, and another Aliquippa Fighting Quip is down.
That's Patilla.
Patilla again. 24 yards, and that is his first carry of the night, and a big one it is for Chad Feldman. He's a junior. He'll be back next year, and certainly a guy that they're looking forward to as one of their starters next year. He, along with Jeff Patillo, those two guys have really not seen that much action tonight. We expected both of those guys to have their share of opportunities, but I guess when you're hot, you're hot, and Huber has been hot. Give him the ball.
That's Sean Durham on the sideline. And then you go back to Frank Morocco, hands folded, arms crossed, figuring, well, go back to the drawing board this week, get ready for Midwestern Athletic Conference football class AAA. It all starts next Friday night.
It's the first running back other than Huber that has run the ball tonight. How about that? We are a veritable plethora of statistical information at this point. But that really, obviously, if you're Aliquippa, you know Huber's running the ball. You don't look for a guy like Feldman. And he made a big gain.
Now your job is to define plethora.
I know the word.
Well, you know, Western Pennsylvania football over the years has been outstanding. We all know that from Western Pennsylvania. And I think people here in Ohio tonight, even though it looks like Aliquippa is going to be very, very hard-pressed to pull this one out, they saw an outstanding North Hills team in the 6 o'clock game when North Hills beat Fairfield. Here tonight, Aliquippa has shown themselves well, even though they are down by 21, some mistakes, but they have hit hard. And, you know, Elder is a returning veteran football team. They got 98 dressed, as we said. They were city champs of Ohio last year, finished 23rd in the nation, ranked by USA Today. They're a good football team.
Frank Morocco, unfortunately, is going to hear a lot of, he's heard so much comparison with Don Yanessa, but now after this one, and it's really
Unfair.
It's unfair at this point. It's one game, and it's, as you mentioned, against one of the powerhouses of this state. But he's going to hear it.
6th game of the season. Elder will play Moeller. That'll be a good football game.
It should be an outstanding game. Moeller ran up the score today. I mean, they had the game well in hand. They were leading by 30 points in the first quarter, it seemed, and they ran past the ball 64-3. But I don't think they're going to have any sort of similar situation here with this Elder team. Elder looks to be one of the better teams that we're going to see this year.
Teams in Aliquippa's conference that they will play throughout the year, which are heated rivals, of course, Blackhawk, Hopewell, and obviously Ambridge.
And that one will be the last game of the year, Aliquippa Ambridge, and it should be a good one. 34-13, Elder leads Aliquippa. We're going to take a break as we get things sorted out on the field. We'll be back with more from the Buddy LaRosa Football Classic right here on the KBL Entertainment Network.
He came from a land of mystery.
Sarah Bushman, Ms. McDundee.
Now he's back for more.
I'm about to throw myself off this building. Would you mind getting a me one?
I'm on my lunch break.
Paul Hogan,
What's he like in bed? I don't know. He still sleeps on the floor.
Crocodile Dundee 2.
Now that's nice.
Premieres Tuesday, September 12th on Cinemax.
You stepped up to a 35mm camera because you wanted to get serious about your photography. There, the image is on the film, but will it be on the print? It will if it's Giant Eagle's Super Pro 35 film developing. We examine each negative for color and contrast, print on high-gloss Kodak paper for incredible reproduction, and Super Pro 35 prints are 30% larger. Be sure that the image you shoot is the image you get. Super Pro 35 at Giant Eagle, when you're serious about 35mm.
In business, looks can be deceiving. You know, it's really a jungle out there. Dane
Carried off the field, and that's about the 3rd time that's happened to him as Aliquippa continues to fall like flies. This stat sums it all up, including penalties, total yards in the second half for Aliquippa, minus 26, and that's all you need to know about this second half. Paff at quarterback at the 19-yard line of Aliquippa, and it's Feldman ahead. His second carry After that 24-yard gain, Chad Fellman gets a couple before he's stopped by the Quips. 8 minutes, 17 seconds. Leon Seaborn was the man to make the stop for Aliquippa. It seems like this half has taken so long, and we still have 8 minutes left. A lot of injury timeouts, passing completions.
It's taken its toll on the Aliquippa players, as we keep talking about.
High formation once again for Elder, and the Panthers looking to strike. One of the new halfbacks in the game, Randy Ruin, the junior. That's his first carry, obviously, of the night. Then Ruin gets a couple of more yards, setting up 3rd down and 7. And I would imagine that they're going to start using some of those 98 players that you see on the bench. This is a good time to get them some playing time.
When they lined up before the game, they started at the goal line to our left and lined up shoulder to shoulder. They went all the way down to the other 15-yard line. 85 yards.
It's like a college. When they came out, you thought it was a college. Elder looking for more. Path looking into the end zone, has a man at the 5-yard line. That's Martin. Martin gets his way down to the 20. And Kevin Martin, another big reception. Kind of surprising that Elder throwing the football with 7 minutes left. They're leading by 21, trying to really put this one out of reach. And Martin makes a nice reception down inside the 5. And again, 1st and goal for the Panthers. Nice routes for Martin. He has 5 receptions for 81 yards this evening. Big touchdown in the first quarter. He, along with Huber, have been the main stars offensively. Path certainly has showed himself well. We've heard a lot about him as he comes in following Steve Keller, a guy who set all sorts of records at Elder. And off this time. Again, it's Ruin. Ruin is stopped in his tracks at the 5. Actually loses a yard, rather. Leonard Myers was there to make the stop, and Ruin has his 2nd carry of the night. Another fresh body checks in.
Right here is where Aliquippa plays with pride. You're down by 21 points. You got a team knocking on your doorstep to put another one on the board. Aliquippa does not want to let them go in to score this one because it'll hurt their pride. You want to put 40 points on the board if you're Elder, and Aliquippa is saying, hey, let's not let this one get in. Let's play this one for next week. Let's start looking towards next week right now.
34-13. Elder leading 6 minutes inside of 6 right now left in the game. As Elder will improve to 2-0. Handoff again goes to Ruin, and he claws his way inside the 5, finally down at the 4-yard line. Spotted at 3, sets up 3rd and goal from the 3. Elmore was one of the guys there for the Quips, along with Tim's brother Tyrone.
Clock turning at 5:25, Bob, and Frank Morocco only hopes that this game gets over in a hurry, no more injuries, so they can get back home this week and rehabilitate those injuries.
3rd and goal from the 4. Half hands off. Ruin. This time down to the 2-1. Does he get in? He fumbles the ball. They actually ruled touchdown. If the ball had crossed the plane, it came loose. Billingsley said he had it, but they say touchdown for Elder, and Ruin on his 3rd carry of the night. Randy Ruin gets the touchdown. Good offensive line surge, led again by Matt Bonhoss. And that one will clearly put this one out of reach. If there was any doubt before that, it's 40-13. Panthers up, and that might have been questionable. I don't know. From our angle, we can't tell. But the ball did come loose, but the official said touchdown before the fumble. Point after is up. This one no good as it sails wide to the left. And with 5:05 left, we are going to take a break. Aliquippa trailing Elder. It's 40-13 right here on the KBL Entertainment Network. Andy Cosgrove and Gil Lucas here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati as time ticks down on the 4th and final game of the Buddy LaRosa Football Classic. 5 minutes, 5 seconds left. Elder has really opened this thing up 40-13 as they kick off to Aliquippa. And the ball is trickled along. It's Smith taking it at the 30 and retreating now to the 25. Gets around the end of the 29 and possibly back to the 30-yard line. Getting back to Elder for a minute, Randy. They've been doing a good job. Bonhoss, who is actually an offensive and defensive lineman has been in the backfield and the lead blocker, and he's a tremendous blocker. They put him back there, and he leads the way for the other running backs.
Yeah, they're very good up front, Bob, from tackle to tackle, and I think that's the thing that many people, were not sure whether Elder was going to be strong up front. They knew about the quarterback, they knew about the passing game, but they are very tough up front. Strong offensive and defensive lines.
As you look at the drive, taking 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And the Quips now just trying to play for a little bit of pride, get a final touchdown perhaps. Handoff goes to Billingsley. And here again, watch Bonhouse now. 73. Makes a nice block right there. Takes one of the Quips out, and that paves the way for Ruin to get the necessary yardage. And we'll see if he crosses the goal line here. Yeah, from this angle, obviously we can't tell, but the ball was there. The official right on the spot. He was there. He made the call, and it goes for a touchdown. James Tazzle, and the quarterback now for Aliquippa.
And a flag down on the last play.
Face mask, 64 on the defense.
One of the few penalties. Face masking penalty against Elder, and that gives Aliquippa some improved field position out to the 50-yard line with 4.5 left in this game. One thing about Aliquippa, they enjoy playing teams like this, and even though this is a blowout, even though they've been dominated here in the second half, you can bet that they will benefit from this. They're playing good competition in the long run, and I'm sure it helps. Pass complete to Askew that time. His first actually incomplete. He had it, and with 3 defenders around him, his ball came loose. They've been trying to go to Askew early on, and they never really got it past to him.
You're right. This has got to be taken as a learning experience, and that's exactly what Frank Morocco is going to say in the locker room when this game is over. Hey, we came down here, we played hard early, the breaks didn't go our way, we hurt ourselves, but let's take this, go back, learn from it, and I'll tell you what, guys, and I think he can say this honestly, we won't play a stronger team all year than the team we've played tonight.
You might be absolutely right with that. Elder, very impressive. Drove the players. Billingsley has nowhere to go that time up the middle. And he is thrown for a loss, as a matter of fact. And now we are seeing all sorts of reserves for Elder. Our roster is not as long as the list of players on the sideline here.
Yeah, and that statement that I just made, a team not as strong as Elder, is not to demean the Hopewells, the Blackhawks, the Ambridges, those people. It's just a fact of life. Those schools do not have the numbers or the size of players that Elder has. No one will dress 90 players that Aliquippa plays this year. No one will have people as big as the Elder players this year.
Good learning experience for the Quips. Try to run this thing down with 3:50 left. Tazzle, the quarterback. I formation for Aliquippa. And for Aliquippa, this is seeming like an eternity to play the remaining 5 minutes of this game as Elder jumps prematurely. I want to thank you, by the way, partner. You were originally going to be down on the field, and because one of our broadcast partners from Cincinnati had to bail out at the last moment, came up here, and certainly appreciate all your efforts at the last moment.
Well, certainly enjoyed the opportunity to work with you, clearing it with the North Hills School Board people to make sure that it was okay. But certainly enjoyed it, and North Hills goes back a winner. Aliquippa goes back a winner in its own right, because this was a great learning experience, as we said before.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left as Tazzle sets his troops. And this obviously was a miscommunication once again. Smith looked to be screaming at Tazzle, and obviously got the wires crossed. Greg Harmeyer was there, and Harmeyer gets his name in the stat book there. Look at the pressure right there, and Tazzle had no idea what to do with it.
I think what they wanted to run there, Bob, was, the lateral out to Smith, who was taking 2 steps downfield, came backwards, a play that we saw in the first game with Jeff and Jason Bender. He wanted to throw the ball long downfield to Adrice Nance. It never got off the mark, but that's what they wanted to do.
A lot of pressure, and Smith had all kinds of guys on him, so the wise decision was not to throw the ball in his direction. As it is, you have to eat it and take a big loss. 4th and 31 now for Aliquippa as Frank Morocco comes onto the field. And if you missed it earlier, North Hills a winner as they beat Fairfield pretty handily, 25-6. And we should also tell you about some scheduling of